Welcome back to the Dethroning Your Inner Critic YouTube channel. I'm Joanna Kleinman, CEO of Mastering Your Mind, a global coaching company helping people break free from the limitations of their inner critic and live from their most powerful, authentic self. And I am thrilled that you're here. So, I assume that you're listening, watching this video because you're into growth. And you've probably been doing all of the things, reading the books, watching the YouTube channels, journaling, maybe even going to therapy. You might have a coach, but you still feel stuck, overwhelmed, or like your life isn't quite clicking into place. And if that's you, this video is for you because I want to talk about something that most people miss in the personal development world. Okay, so we hear a lot about self-awareness. We hear a lot about raising consciousness. But real transformation is not going to come just from understanding yourself better. So it doesn't come from trying to figure out why you're anxious or why you can't move forward or why you keep repeating the same patterns. Okay. It actually comes from asking a completely different question. Not why, but what. Because why is rooted in the past and what is rooted in the present. So let me explain. Most people are living in this constant feedback loop with their inner critic self, and they don't know it. So that voice in your mind that spins on repeat, telling you what's missing in your life or what's wrong or what you need in order to feel the way you want to feel and why you're not enough yet, why your life is not enough yet, right? That's just a constant feedback loop, okay? And even though that can sound like self-awareness, right? Why do I always feel this way? Why can't I get to the next level? It's actually a trap because what you're doing is you're constantly analyzing your past and trying to figure out how you can fix your past to change your present. And that's not evolving. You're just circling, right? That's the spin. So the reason why that spin is so powerful is because it actually gives you the illusion that you're doing something when really you're just stuck in the same old energy, the same thoughts, the same beliefs, the same emotions, and the same actions that got you here. Okay. Now, I want to talk about goals for a second. Okay. Now, goals are great. I love goals, but goals are future based. And so often we think that we've got to keep our focus on creating that goal in the future. And why do we have that focus? Because we believe that that's finally going to give us the feeling we've been chasing. So once I get to that goal and I achieve it, I'll have the joy I want. I'll have the freedom I want. I'll have the sense of purpose that I've been craving. I'll have peace. I'll have aliveness. I'll have love. So if you're waiting for your external life to give you those feelings, you're postponing your entire life for someday. That's the loop. So your inner critic is always going to keep scanning for everything that's not working. Remember, your inner critic has one job and one job only, to try to keep you safe and protected against pain. So everything that doesn't match your future fantasy is danger to your inner critic. And so your inner critic self will convince you that you need to fix that thing, or you need to understand that thing, or you need to figure out how to solve that thing. And once you do, then you'll feel the way you want. But here is the truth. You don't need to fix anything. You need to actually create something new right now. And so that starts with vision. Now, most people, when we use the term vision, we think, oh, future vision, right? Let me just focus on my future vision. Nope, not a future vision, not a vision board with everything that you want. Vision happens now. It's a felt experience. So the question to ask instead of why is, what does it look like for me to embody the life I want right now? Right? Not by getting the goals, but what does embodying joy look like right now? Maybe it looks like paying for some stranger Starbucks, right? Making their life light up. Maybe it looks like going and giving your partner a hug for no reason, right? What does joy look like right now? What does freedom look like right now? What does purpose feel like right now in this moment? What does self expression look like right now in this moment? Not someday, not when you land the job or write the book or find the relationship or lose the weight or start the business. Now, because vision based living asks a radically different question than the inner critic ever will. It asks, what would it feel like to live as the version of me who already has what I want? So when I made that shift from spinning in why and focusing on my future into living in what, it changed everything. So I stopped asking, why isn't this happening yet? Why do I feel like this? Why can't I figure it all out? And instead, I started asking, what would I do today if I already trusted myself and I already trusted the universe? What would I say, believe, or choose if I already felt whole and powerful? And so from that place, I started creating. I built my business. I wrote my book. I created the Dethroning Your Inner Critic global coaching company. I launched an international company that's accredited by the International Coaching Federation without any roadmap. Instead, just the present vision that kept whispering, this is yours to create. And every time my inner critic came and whispered in my ear, you don't have what it takes and you're not good enough for this. And when is this going to happen? And how's this going to go? I brought myself back to experiencing my power now and letting go of needing to know how it's all going to go. Right? I didn't know how this would happen. I didn't have all the answers, but I showed up each day as if I already was the person who could do it. That's the shift. Because when you live from your vision, right? My vision is joy and freedom. When you live from your vision instead of your fear, you take new actions. You attract new opportunities. You think in a completely different way. And the energy that comes from living that way, right, is electric, right? Especially if you're doing it in a community of people, by the way. So, what I want you to focus on is, where are you spinning in the why, right? So that's the question. Are you stuck in why, or are you ready to live from what? Because you don't need to fix your past. You don't need to design your entire future so you know exactly how it's all going to go. You just need to choose the version of you who already knows what she's here to create and take one aligned step towards that person right now. So, for all of you who have resonated with what I have just said, I've created a self guided course called Redesign Your Future: The Hidden Truth About Transformation. And it is only $47. And it is designed to help you shift out of survival mode and into a life that feels peaceful and powerful and purpose driven. So, inside of that course, you'll learn how to unhook from the beliefs that are keeping you stuck, and you'll learn how to live from the energy of your future self, and you'll build a life from vision and not fear. And you'll finally experience the clarity, the joy, and the fulfillment without waiting for anything to change. So, if you're ready to stop spinning and start creating, the link is in the show notes, because the life that you want does not start when your circumstances change. Trust me on this. It starts the moment that you do. And that moment could be today. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you at the next episode. Bye.